everybody, welcome to another episode of On the Paint Table. This is my weekly show where you see what I got done, what I'm working on, and what is coming up. So this week, I'm going to be showing off some Fallout stuff. I painted some more Fallout stuff to finish off the TED Chronicles, as well as some Fallout terrain that I was really happy with. And I built a bunch of stuff for the solo Warhammer Age of Sigmar expansion I'm playing right now. I also painted some more, or built some more stuff for Infinity Code 1. So lots of things to check out. Let's take a look at what got done and what is coming up. So first things first, here's the finished pile of stuff I painted for the TED Chronicles. A couple of Corvegas from the Fallout Wasteland Warfare Terrain Kit. A couple more Gen 1 synths with batons, a Institute Scientist, and a Courser with a combat rifle. All great little resin models from Edifius, and they painted up super nice. These were done all from black primer, and then just weathered with various washes and you know, like thin down browns and some Agrax earth to give them that sort of like rusted finish. The Gen 1s are pretty great. I wanted a whole bunch of them to kind of like keep with like the robotic zombie theme of the missions, and you will have seen the first of the really like overwhelming people running at you missions this past Friday, yesterday if you're watching this on Saturday. And so terrain as well, some Vault like tech crates, which are pretty cool from the train pack. A couple of Robco terminals, and then a couple of Robco terminals that pop out of walls, and you can just blue tack these to the walls too, which is nice. So if I want to spruce up my interactive terrain in Fallout, I've got this. And then a couple of these computer consoles, a desk, and other various bits and bobs I still have to paint. I got a few things left, some sort of nice radiation markers that are just you know, leaking barrels, and a few other pieces, but I'm really excited about this just to add a little more, you know, sort of like distinct Fallout theme to my terrain collection. And then I built this guy this week, the Dankhold Trogboss. You're going to be seeing the Troggoth Slayers, Quest for the Troggoth King, coming up pretty soon on Wednesdays, and this guy is the big baddie, the finish him off guy, the guy that the quest is all about, so I wanted to get a Trogboss. He's going to go with my Ogre Army, as my Ogre Army is you know, like able to use Trogs as allies. So I'm gonna have like a little allied Trog force, and I've always wanted to paint this model. So I'm just gonna take the opportunity to paint him up, because I can use him in this little mission, and then I'll have him for my full games of Warhammer Age of Sigmar. And I'll give him a little bodyguard of Trogs to probably the stone trolls to follow him around and be an allied thing. Unfortunately, he's not quite the right points to take as allies. I'd have to actually take him as like a Dankhold to fit him into the usual ally allowance, but it's still a beautiful model. I want to paint him, and I can just use him as a regular Dankhold. I don't think Owen's certainly not going to care whether he's a Trogboss or just a regular Dankhold from game to game. And then I have my support pack for Pano. I'm going to paint up in my Winter 4 colors. So there's a Trauma Doc, a Machinist, new models, new sculpts. They were some of the original N1 sculpts for Pano, so them getting updated is great, as well as the Palbots, who are just these like super cute, big-headed robot dudes who will kill more models than anything in your opponent's army. And then finally an SMG Ninja. Now I have the Tacbo Ninja from Operation Red Veil, so I built him with the SMG just to have like a different profile, and I'll probably paint him in some fairly neutral basing so that I can also use him with my JSA. He's a gorgeous miniature. I'm really excited to paint him up. You get Troll Slayer painted, so I mostly just put him on the table today to bring him home, because I forgot him in a carrying case, and I did want to paint him up relatively soon so I can get back to the Warhammer questing and add some new heroes. And then these two characters are both from Elder Scrolls Cult Arms, and I'm excited to paint them up. I'm going to start a new mini quest from the quest book involving either the Stormcloaks or the Imperials. I can't remember. I haven't decided who yet, but I want to change factions and have either the Imperials or the Stormcloaks be my characters, and then use the opposite as the bad guys. So basically, my retinue will be one of those two factions. I haven't decided which character I like more yet. And then the allies will be the or not the allies, the enemies will be the opposing faction. So kind of a little like war gamey sort of quest line to showcase the other solo rules and not just do the delve, the bleak Bleak Falls Barrows delve. Just sort of the more like on the ground stuff. And then I grabbed a pile of like random scientist miniatures, which are from AT-43, and some more sort of like Soviet era miniatures, because I got a bunch of other solo indie wargaming projects I want to work on. I've got Horizon Wars Zero Dark that I want to do, and then a few more things, getting back to Perilous Tales, just a bunch of stuff that I've got in the pile that I've been waiting to take a look at, and I really want to get to painting. So you'll see that soon coming up. So you got on the paint table done and on the books. Now, if you've been watching my Facebook and social media this week, you'll know that one of my big projects that has been for like the last couple months of my life has finally come out this week. On Wednesday, we launched Blaster, which is an independent anthology publication. It's going to come out quarterly of all kinds of indie developers. There's 5 of us in the core group coming together and basically doing crazy stuff. So my first contribution to Blaster came out this week, and it is basically a modification for Last Days. We get to play it in the Old West called Timelines. I have a couple of these kind of like bucket article supplement ideas that I wanted to do, and they don't really fit into like a main book. So Blaster was this awesome vehicle that Joe McCullough and I kind of boundied around and then collected Joey McGuire from This Is Not a Test and Sean Sutter from Relic Blade and Mike Hutchinson from Gaslands into doing. And it's going to let us do some crazy projects. So there's a full game in there. If you want to check out issue 1, I'll link it below, which is Gaslands Martian Racing. So more like the Redline version of Gaslands. Everything's a lot more sleek, and this is what the overlords are doing, not the scummy people on Earth. There's a new faction, a new neutral faction for Relic Blades, and then there's a new faction for This Is Not a Test to the Beastmasters, and a whole new mod for Rangers Shadowdeep where you get to build fellowships and some linked scenarios for fellowships. And fellowships, of course, for Rangers means you're not led by a ranger, you're potentially led by a wizard, and there's more sort of like fellowshipy class types to play with. And it's kind of a love child project for Joe because he's a big fan of all that Tolkien Middle-earth stuff. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed that. And of course, tomorrow we're going to come back to the Warlock of Firetop Mountain, probably around 12:31. Just look for the live show coming thing. It's going to be every other weekend. I'll probably do these live shows for Choose Your Own Adventure stuff for various other crazy ideas I have. And yeah, you should get some notifications going forward. I'm still hammering out all of this lockdown material that I'm working on and working on it as I go. So anyway, we'll see you next week for more On the Paint Table. Till then, I'm Ash. Happy gaming. I hope you enjoyed that video. If you want to support the channel, of course, like and subscribe and hit the little bell below to get notifications when I post future content. I do post stuff 7 days a week. If you want to support the channel further, you can, of course, buy a t-shirt through Spreadshirt, buy a measuring gauge or objective markers from Death Ray Designs, or, of course, most importantly, there is Patreon. Patreon is what makes all this possible, keeps the lights on, pays for the studio costs, pays for the equipment, model costs, and everything else, and most importantly, puts food in my kids' bellies and a roof over their heads. Big thanks to everyone, past, future, who supported me. I do this stuff because of you guys, and of course, I will continue doing it as long as I can.